Previously on Fabulous.
On it. Could you educate us on the importance of temperament before drawing the relationship? And then when you are finished with that, we'll come to how we can do that with our children. Hello, welcome to another episode of Fabulous, the African online TV channel dedicated to supporting the African family to thrive and to do well. On Fabulous, everything we do is about a thriving, united, happy African family. Today we'll be looking at why the modern African marriage seems not to be holding like our fathers and forefathers did. My grandfather Kwame Edu and my grandmother Agnes married till death parted them, some 60 and some odd years. And yet today, 3 years, and we are ready to throw in the towel and look for a new apartment. What is happening? 1 out of 8 marriages in Ghana do not hold. Either people are separated or formally divorced. What is happening? How do we arrest this? What must we know? What must we do to be able to stop this pandemic of broken, failed, unhappy marriages across the continent? To know this, stay tuned. This is Fabulous, the family-focused online TV channel. Are we doing something wrong with today's love, marriage, and relationships?
I believe so. I believe so because most people think of marriage as I'm going to get something. I'm going to get love. I'm going to get money. I'm going to get a name. You know, I sometimes I laugh at those women that sometimes a woman may go into a marriage because of the name she will have. And we like the men with the English sounding names. So,
Anderson.
Yes, Anderson, Arthur, Williams.
So if I've got Ukuku Seku, then it will lower my chances of getting a woman.
So sometimes that can even attract, us into marriage. And then we don't take time to study. We think we know. The problem with the current generation is that they think they know and they are not prepared to learn. Even in the church, when you try to share some things with them that will help them, they are offended.
That's true. Because
they think that your time is different. But it worked.
Yeah.
It worked for us. So
principles are timeless.
Yes, right now, no, people don't really care about principles.
Yeah.
If in our time, if you were a young lady and you had a child out of wedlock, it was something that embarrassed you and your family.
Yeah.
And then those we looked up to in the developed countries and so on. I mean, proper marriage was one of the things that we learned from them. But even they now, it's different. So it's like nobody cares, because even if when you try to correct, people will think that they mind your own business. This has nothing to do. In our time when we were growing, anybody could correct you.
Yes.
Beat your teacher.
Yeah. Once they were an adult.
Yeah. Teachers were models, role models for us, and everybody respected them. I remember my grandmother would say, "Hey, doesn't your teacher teach you any sense?" You see? So we respected, and people had you could correct any child, no matter where that child came from. If you were older, you could correct that child. But
my grandfather was a teacher, head teacher. The ones who used to wear the socks and the bowler shorts and white shirts. That's how I remember him.
I remember the colonial times faintly.
Teacher Seth Cranton. That's my grandfather.
Oh, okay. And they were held in high esteem.
Yes.
People really respected them. And
because in the community, they were like the center. They read letters. Everybody went to them. If they had to do anything with the government, it was the head teachers and the teachers who intervened. So it was a very prestigious teacher in catechist. It was a very prestigious position to
those
have.
days, they took time to become a reverend minister.
Yes.
You'd be a teacher, then you become a catechist, and then you serve under it. So by the time you were a reverend minister, you had grown. You had tasted a bit of life's issues. But now somebody might attend some course 6 months, 1 year or less, and is a reverend minister.
And 3 years later, he's a bishop.
Yeah, they don't see it as a calling now. It's just
No,
like
it's
one
not a
of those,
job.
like a job or a career.
Yeah.
So
So if I heard you, what's wrong with modern relationships and marriages is this issue of I'm going in to take the mindset, not it is a relationship. We are going to iron sharpeneth iron. We are going to benefit mutually. Today, people are going in for even very flimsy things like the name, the profession of the person. As for me, I want to marry a doctor. As for me, I want to marry a lawyer. So it's no longer about the person, the relationship, but about external things. And then the mindset too is wrong. So we will need to revisit these things.
I think we are more selfish now.
Wow.
Everybody goes into marriage, thinking of what they can benefit from. So they even make what do you call it? They sign a contract that if the marriage doesn't go,
prenuptial agreement.
Then we leave, we part our ways and go. But like even in our time, our mothers, the generations before me, they went into marriage to shape another person's life. Yeah, I had an aunt like that. I mean, she married a few times, but any man that came her way, she was able to shape that person.
Became better.
Better, yeah.
As a result of her.
She would support, do this, do that. She was all round. And right now, some of the younger, when you tell them, if he can't do it, he can please himself. Me, I'm not a slave, I'm not this. That attitude. So it's like I'm in for what I can get. I'm not there for anybody.
Don't come and trouble me.
And the thing is that if a marriage doesn't work, it affects all of us.
Yeah.
It affects the wife, it affects the children, it affects the man. Even the man, the one who wants the divorce themselves. Those who want the divorce. It's not that easy for them. They may just put up a front, facade and say, no, I've gone through divorce. As one expert said, nobody will tell you that, oh, come, let me tell you my story. It's a beautiful story. I had a divorce. Because they know that there's something wrong.
It's very
it affects, it's not easy. And the children are the one that receive the brunt.
I have a principle that you cannot unrelate. Once you know somebody, you can never say you don't know the person. How much more marriage? That you've been in a marriage with somebody for 12 years, 10 years, and then you divorce and say, no, go your way, let me go my way. You cannot unrelate once there's a relationship. It's forever. Relationships are forever.
In our my parents' time, their generation, many women were at home. If they did anything at all, it was either teaching or nursing. Or they do something at home, fry, bake, or something. So the women, depended on the men for survival and all that. So it helped the women to stay in the marriage. Now, you have a lot of cases where even the women earn more.
Yes.
The wives earn more than the husbands, and that it's a problem.
That's a very interesting one, and it's something that a lot of people are going through. So how should people handle it? Even though the Bible says submit, but where the woman is maybe in a much higher position on the corporate ladder, earns more than the man, what should they do? How should they manage that situation so that they can have a peaceful, harmonious home?
It's the attitude. The attitude there, and both, the man and the woman have a responsibility. There are some men, when the woman earns more, there's a secret, envy, jealousy, and all that. So the least thing you do, you are proud. The least thing you do, you are too arrogant, and all of that. So it doesn't help. But love is that I accept you as you are. Your strengths and your weaknesses. Even if I have nothing and you get more promotion, I'll still support you. That is love. And then the women, sometimes I have a younger brother who used to, when he was a teenager, he would sneeze and say, "Oh, he ain't come back." So what the hell? I said, "Oh, why?" And he said, "Oh, when women get money, they get rich. Submission is difficult for them." So that's why it's also important to choose well. The foundation of every building is very important. It's so
right.
you should know the person. Sometimes they just meet for a few short time and they think they are in love, and then because this person has this person has that, and then they don't go in. So sometimes when I'm talking to the single, I said that look at the character too. Me, I tell them I like music, and maybe the one playing the keyboard. I mean, he's an oga. They don't look at him just in connection with the music he plays. Do you know how he lives with those, those he lives with, his character outside the church? And look at character. Don't look at skills or talents or even that. Sometimes they go in for those relationships because the intended has something special about him. Maybe he has a particular talent or skill, or maybe degree or something, and they are not going to marry the person's career or the person's skill. You are marrying a character. So look at it. Then when you tell them, it's like, "Oh, we love each other." Do you know what love is?
I make an observation that what attracts you to somebody before marriage repels after marriage. Like you just said, maybe you meet a brother in church who is very audacious, he's tongue speaking and all, and he never misses church. But at home, he's very dirty. And he's dirty because he doesn't wash, he just comes to church. So whilst he's a very audacious person in church, his level of cleanness might not be what you desire. And so you are right that it's a complete package, and we need to watch all these things before settling, especially looking for things like traits, character, and then attitude. Attitude is so important, you mentioned, because I think the difference between our marriages and relationships today and that of your generation and the generation before yours is the attitude with which people went into their relationships with. Whereas your generation said it's for life, ours is like, okay, try my way. Let me see what this lady or this guy has to offer. Me, if I want the science and it's not going there, me, I'm out. So we are having shorter marriages, and we are all not happy. We are all not happy. Today, people are dying early. 46, 36, 38, 53, 52. We are just going. It's because the quality of life, as far as I'm concerned, has gone down.
Yes.
We are eating more junk food, more temperamental, spending about a third of the day in traffic. And we are doing this and thinking because Accra and Kumasi, Takra, they are having high-rise buildings, it means we are developing, but we are not.
No.
We are not developing.
Sometimes we see the signs, but we tend to ignore. As one brother, he said that when he was eligible, if he visited the lady and the lady's mother called there and said, "Oh, come and do this," so be there, so jammy. Then the same thing is coming under your roof.
That's true. That's true.
And the one lady also said that if you are courting, you have a fiancé and you sit in a trotro, and your fiancé holds the trotro mate's neck for a change of 50 cedis. You should also begin to advise yourself.
Exactly. When there's a problem, you hold your neck.
Yes.
Is that why the elders say character is like pregnancy? No matter what you do, it will come up. Is that why they said that?
Yes. Because when you live with somebody in a room for even 2 years, the person's true nature will show. Will begin to show. You can pretend during courtship and all that, but after you
can't
marry,
pretend forever.
No, not in the setting of a marriage.
Interesting.
Yes.
Interesting. So if you are watching this, Mrs. Fularasaki, retired educationist, she's saying that character is key, because the key to successful marriage is two people who are selflessly committing to the relationship. It is not about what you take from the relationship or what you are going to collect. It is about what you are going to give. That somebody must become better because of you.
Yeah.
And that there are examples of people who went into marriages with those kinds of attitude and they lived happily ever after.
Yes, it's been almost 9 years since we met, and it was on a parent forum. Like you said, I was a first-time mother to my son, and a very young mother for that matter. So I needed to learn. I needed to learn from people who have done it and have done it well, so I can also impact in my younger ones.